Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
Episode 47, here we are, DeathPiles and Taxes podcast, the podcast for the eBay enthusiast reseller person that needs to do taxes. Also, apparently, if you don't like things that are just straight and narrow and you like to waver off the path a bit, we're the podcast for you, so I've been told.
Wow.
You like that? That was out of the gate action.
Man, that was good stuff. Well, I'm thankful to be here this week.
Adam's going to make some gobbledygook because he's got the puns.
A giblet.
A giblet. You ever have a giblet?
Several times.
You ever wrestle for the Thanksgiving gizzard?
Not for the gizzard, but the wishbone.
Granny always won that battle, let me tell you.
Ours is always the fight for the
The
wishbone.
wishbone has to dry out for a few days, though.
Well, I know. It's still the person who's going to get it.
Oh, you got to take it home? Well, then who you breaking it against? Your dog?
No, brother or sister.
Brother and or sister?
Yeah.
So it was like a family pack that was going for it?
Well, like I said, Thanksgiving's different now. Like, where we'd always usually go to Thanksgiving, those grandparents have passed away, so you don't get the same nostalgia.
Yeah. Well, Thanksgiving is here upon us.
Yeah.
And if you're an eBayer or a reseller or a thrifty person or somebody that's going to have a due, this is the week for you. And it's very controversial. As we all know, Black Friday went into Black Thursday. Depending on who you talk to, man, there's people ready to fight about that.
I'm going to come out right with it. You friggin' sleazeballs that make these people go into work on Thanksgiving are going to have a special place because Thanksgiving is about family, not about buying a TV for $79.
As somebody that's bought a TV for $79 Thanksgiving morning, I agree to disagree with you. Also, you're probably the same scumbag going to the picture show a little later in the day with your whole family and thinking those people don't have to work.
No, I don't go.
Stop and get you a drink at the corner store.
No, don't do it.
Well, you're missing out on life, man. It's about being grateful. Keep people employed.
I know, but I'm just saying Thanksgiving we should have one day in America that people are dedicated to their families.
Christmas.
Well, yes, supposedly, allegedly. Are you one of those people that go to the movie theater on Christmas Day?
I haven't, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably think.
Keep that economy going, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're making America great every single
Adam
day.
is flustered already into this show.
Well, I'm just saying, man, Thanksgiving, it shouldn't be a retail day.
I'm telling you, though, we're resellers. People buying on the internet. That's what caused it all, is people.
Well, yeah.
So they weren't open, and then people started creeping over into these online stores, and people said, I want some of that action. And that's how it all went. So if there's no supply, we all know there's no demand.
You're right. You
demand supply. That's
you're
what
absolutely right. I don't have to do that to.
But it's your choice, exactly. If you don't want to do it,
I know.
there'll be less people in the line for me.
That's right.
Get my 75-inch HD plasma controlled OLED HD 123 TV.
I don't think your house is big enough for it.
See, that's the guy. Now let me tell you a story about Adam and this big house comment since he brought it up.
I'm just saying, you've got so much eBay clutter. You've got warehouse space all over.
I called Adam yesterday. We had a snowstorm yesterday here.
True.
Locally, and I call Adam and he says, man, there's so much snow. There's so much snow. And I'm like, well, I don't see a whole lot. And I was about 10 miles from our house. And he's like, oh, once you get to our town, the higher up on the mountain you go, the more snow there is, he tells me.
It's a true story.
Which is his way of saying he lives a lot higher on the hill than some of us.
I can see your house from my house.
Exactly. He goes out on his perch and he gets out his telescope and he tries to see if I'm out sunbathing. Sometimes he tells me to turn over and we get burnt and he just wants that nice tan.
The birds are usually circling above you. That's how I know it's
a nice tan like a turkey. He's like, you're about baked, boy.
That's right.
I don't know if that's true or not. Can you really see my house from your house?
It depends on the day. If the coverage is good, if the inversion's there.
It's lonely on the top, but it's something else at the bottom, my friend.
Hey, I got to remember, during the break, I got to go ship off my Shopkins.
You sold more Shopkins?
Sold more Shopkins, man.
I was temporarily banned from eBay this week. I didn't tell you about this. I've been saving this.
That does not surprise me.
Why does that not surprise you?
Coming from the guy who's got kicked off of YouTube, coming from the guy who's been banned from several Facebook groups, I'm just saying, it's not like I'm surprised.
Hey, our YouTube is the loneliest YouTube channel out there, so if people could go give it a like or subscribe. After we do the Jerry Sloan, I've already got my next little thing that we're going to do for our YouTube channel.
All right, why did you get kicked off of eBay again?
Again, this is the first time I've been banned on eBay.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Now, if you want the story, you're going to show some respect.
All right, Sunday stories.
To that El Champion of eBay.
All right, eBay, tell me what you got.
So I get this letter, this email, and it's called let me make sure I get it pronounced right. Vero. Have you ever heard of Vero?
I don't know what a Vero is.
A Vero strike against me, and they say this is going to be a 3-day suspension, and it's from the WWE saying that you're selling counterfeit product.
What?
And I said, whoa. First off, I was trying to list a bunch of items, and if I'm, banned, that ain't going to go well. 3 days, and this is kind of a busy point of the season where 3 days means a whole lot. And so I'm like, I guess I'm going to war with Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon himself.
They came after you and said you had counterfeit products?
They said counterfeit, and they showed the item number. So I went and looked at what it was. I bought that directly from the WWE clearance cell.
Wow.
And so I made myself a strongly worded email.
Strongly worded email.
I sent it to my WWE, because it has everyone's information there. So I sent it to them, the eBay Vero team, and I looked up how to do this. So this is actually good for our sellers. If this ever happens to you, there's a process of how you combat it or how you counteract it, or I'm trying to think of a big fancy word that I'm fired up now that I'm not going to say.
Okay.
What's it called? Appeal. That's what you think. The appealing process.
Okay.
So what you need to do is, one, if you're in the wrong, don't fight it. Because if you are selling copyrighted things or bootleg things or whatever, you fight this, you might be going to federal jail. I mean, it's pretty serious to be doing, right?
Yeah.
So I knew I was in the right. I knew where I had it. And I knew, thanks to Adam Beasley, I have a copy of my receipt, and I have a credit card transaction showing that that's where the purchase was made.
So you sent that over to him, said, put that in your pipe and smoke it?
I said, good day, sir. How dare you accuse me of selling counterfeit merchandise, sir? This is Derek Everett of the DeathPiles and Taxes, sir.
The heavy world is going to run all wild.
How dare you? How dare you accuse me of this, sir? No, I sent a kindly worded, strongly worded email that said, this is not counterfeit. I bought this directly from you. Here's
So what happened?
I'm getting to it. Let me tell a story.
Sorry.
I bet you're a fun guy to go and do things with, where it's just like getting ready to go, and then, is it over yet? You go to a movie, you sit down, you have your tub of popcorn, you see the opening thing, and you're like, is it over? How's it end? How's it end?
I forget. We're trying to fill an hour with this.
We got time to fill. This doesn't mean you on the phone and you got to get home and I'm about off the freeway. We got thousands of listeners out there on bated breath.
That's true.
They want the story.
Okay, I apologize.
They want a little foreplay, if you will.
Continue with your bated breath. Mr. Hulk Hogan going to run all over on wild on you.
So I sent my email saying no, and this is why it's not. With all my evidence, if you will, my proof. And I just ship it off and get some return emails or whatever from eBay, like the auto reply or whatever. And that's not sitting well with me. So the next day, I go ahead and I make me a little phone call.
Ooh.
I call up eBay customer service, and I talk to a nice gentleman. I explained everything to him, and he says, "You got to be kidding me! So you purchased this? Like, you're not lying to me?"
Here's the receipt.
I said, "No, I got receipts and everything." He said, "I'm going to transfer you to a man." So he transfers me up to some other guy who's like, "Oh yeah, we're going to lift this ban on you right now. Now here you go. They're going to send you back. If they don't send you back an email in 5 or 7 business days." Now, you're going to want to email Vero@ebay.com and explain this whole situation. And not only will we put your order back on there, we'll take the strike or whatever against that, and we'll also go back to the WWE and tell them that they can't go after people for this because you were right. So if you're out there, I know a lot of people selling purses come into this.
Yeah.
If you dare sell anything that says Velcro on it, Monster Energy is a big one that comes after you. If you legally own the product and it's not a counterfeit or fake product, I did have a couple strikes before me where I just ignored it. One was from that little ginger singer, I can't remember his name, Ed Sheeran, an Ed Sheeran shirt that I bought at a thrift store. I don't know if it was real or not. And there's another one, I can't remember what it was, but something similar, like a band shirt where I'm like, I'm not going to fight this because I don't know. Now I wish I had fought it. So if you're in the right and you have that information, don't just sit on it, because someday you're going to get your account suspended for 3 days. The next one they said would be a week. And it might be during Black Friday week where you just put on a big sale in your store and you need to make some money.
Yeah.
So that was my first fight on the WWE. And I'll say Derek 1, Vince McMahon 0.
And you're welcome, because I told you to keep track of your receipts.
Very good information.
I don't know. It's one of those things when you keep track of things, like, you never know when it's going to be necessary. You never could have said 2 weeks ago, man, eBay is going to come after me because I'm selling a
Shinsuke Nakamura Ichiro shirt. Or Ichiban, excuse me.
Are you going to have to edit that out? Can you say that on the air?
I can say Shinsuke Nakamura all the time I want.
Wow.
Which I don't know why they thought it was counterfeit, because it's something they made. And they had and take your own pictures. That was another thing. Don't use stock photos that you get from them. Be anybody.
Yeah,
because that's somebody else's photos that they can have a Vero against you. So if you don't learn anything else from the Death Piles and Taxes show this month, if you get a Vero or whatever, just make sure that you have your bases covered. Like I say, there's a lot of these name brands that kind of come after you. And don't be afraid to fight back if you're right.
You never know what niblets you're going to get from the champione of eBay, Mr. D-Roy.
So that was kind of interesting. I saved that one for the podcast. I didn't tell a soul, and I won. So here in a couple days, I got to follow back up and send that email to Vero@ebay.com.
Well, when you get an official, like, your account has been unsuspended, will you post that for us?
Oh, it's unsuspended. When I talked to the guy on the phone, he said, "Oh yeah, we're taking care of this right now." He said, "Did it work this morning?" And I had a few items I was trying to list, and I said, as of last night, it wasn't, because I'm a working man. I'm on the road.
So when you found out, like, were you freaking out?
Oh, my blood pressure was boiling, because I knew it wasn't valid. Now, if there were certain things where it said, "We think this is fake," and I bought it at a thrift shop or something I didn't know for sure, I'd been like, "Oh, I'm screwed. Oh crap." That Coach purse I took a gamble on might not be legit.
Yeah.
But this is one that I knew, because it showed me. I said, "Oh, no."
So, again, documentation, people.
But I did think that might be my Black Friday, because I was also putting a sale up that I'm running for this week, 25% off everything.
Wow.
Everything. So, and then I'm going to take a break on the Saturday to Sunday, and then next Monday, for Cyber Monday, I'm going to run another sale for a few days, because I'm going to skip around in my notes here, but I actually went into the break room today at work.
Wow.
And there was a gal that knows I sell on eBay, and my boss who knows I sell on eBay, and they both looked at me with those big old puppy dog eyes.
Uh-huh.
And they said, "Derek, what is the hot toy for kids this year? Our kids aren't saying nothing. What do we get them?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't know what kids want this year. There's not that hot toy. There's nothing in demand, so that's why, or at least not that I'm aware of. There's some of these LOL dolls, the disco surprise dolls that we posted on the Instagram and Facebooks and Twitters.
Apparently you don't know. Right now, I'm selling a heck of a lot of Shopkins.
Shopkins seem to be hot, but there's nothing that's like, so that's the only thing I've seen with the sign that said only one per customer or two per customer.
Yeah, we saw it there.
Mike Painter loaded up on them. I don't know if he's selling them or not. He'll.
I told you created a
check in
monster,
with us.
man. You've got monsters here.
So that's why I'm putting some sales, because I'm used to right this time of year to be able to do anything's a crazy thing, and now it's like, well, I sell a few things, it's trickling, but it's not the stream that I'm used to. So unfortunately, so the people at work are like coming to me saying, "What do we get our kids?" I said, "I don't know. You used to tell us what our kids wanted before they knew what they wanted." I said, "This year's a weird one."
Can I tell you what to get your kids?
Well, this ought to be interesting. A job, is that what you're going to say?
No, a book. Get your kids a book. Go home and read.
Well, they just must be lining up the block to come over and play at Adam's house.
You know, I'm going to tell you something, okay? I'm going to get to that point. We had a conversation with Pelican on the the text machines. Our kids aren't getting the education they need, man. Go home and read a book. Like, our kids get sent home with a little calendar. They're supposed to read 20 minutes a day. Okay, we're talking like the amount of time that Derek tries to find something on his phone. He spends 20 minutes a day.
I'm reading it.
Well, I know, that's what I'm saying. But I'm shocked and amazed at how many kids that don't go home and read 20 minutes a day. Like, I don't get it. Like I said, I had an extremely difficult time reading, but when I read, like, I would look at a book and go through statistics. That's reading. Look at a color book. Look at something. But like,
look at a coloring book.
Do something. Like, learn. Like, look in a book.
Get them kids some Encyclopedia Britannicas.
That's all my son wants. I'm looking for a good deal on a fresh new set. All I can find is
a fresh new set. They haven't made a new set since Double R.
That's what I'm saying. I need a fresh new set.
Give them the Wikipedia.
I've got the Wikipedia, but it's just different. Like, there's something different about reading a phone than looking at an actual book.
I'll agree with that.
And so that's what, our kids, they always ask for books. So we get them books. And, like, they're supposed to have a total of 400 minutes, per month. Like, both of my kids are well into the 1,200, 1,300 minutes a month, which isn't that much. But I'm still shocked by a lot of parents that don't even have their kids read 20 minutes a day.
Well, then, you've guilted them now.
And it's only 5 days a week that they have. They don't have to read on the weekend.
I don't read on the weekend. That's leisure time.
That's true. So do your kid a favor.
Do your kid a solid.
Do your kid a solid. Like, we all grew up with some form of book, and if there isn't, go read a book with them. But go find them a book.
Make them list on eBay, make them spell out your description, then make them read it back, then they read their own book.
I mean, what, Indian in the Cupboard?
Benny Baseball Nut. You could have them read Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but you're going to have to answer a bunch of questions about a lazy grandpa.
James and the Giant Peach.
There you go.
I mean, there's so many of them. Like, give them something to read.
And Adam's little secret, his little tip. Some of you are trying to source, and you have your kids in the thrift store, and you say, how do you do this with your kids and keep them at bay? What's your secret, Adam?
Okay, so that brings up, which I need to look at my phone. We've got a couple of questions. I love new questions.
I got a couple of questions, too.
We got some questions.
I kind of came out of the gate hot.
Okay, you did. So that's one of the questions that we've had in a couple of the groups is, how do you take your kids sourcing? Like, I want to go sourcing, but, it's difficult with kids. So what we would do is we'd go to the store, we'd get 2 shopping carts. My daughter did it upright. My daughter, she says, all right, let's go over here. We'd go into, like, the section. She'd usually grab, like, a pillow or 2, put them in the shopping cart so she can be relaxed, and then she'd go grab 2 books, 3 books out of the book section, and then I go look through clothes and then look at the other stuff. We'd each do that. I'd take one kid, my wife would take the other kid, and we'd go to town.
I have an idea for you.
All right, let's hear your idea.
Here's what you do.
Oh, but we'd run to the game section also, and the toys.
You divide and conquer. So you have your kid, but you have a bracelet that has your wife's phone number on it. This won't work if it's yours.
Okay.
And you go up to the person working there and you say, hey, I have a lost child here. And you say, there's a phone number, but I didn't call it. And so they call your wife, and she says, oh my goodness, or you, whoever you want to do this, oh my goodness, I left little Tommy there. I'll be right back. 20, 30 minutes max. I can't believe I did this again. Or did this, depending on what it is. And you say, stay here, little one. Your mom's on her way. You're in good hands. Then you go do all your shopping, right? And by the time your wife, who's in the parking lot or in the store helping you shop, comes up and gets the son or daughter, and then you load up your stuff, and the person watching them, I think, is you're twisting that knob again. And if I get this blank spot, like I did last week, where it's a big old gap in the show for 30 seconds,
just read.
I'm not going to edit it this week. I'm not editing because it's Thanksgiving. I got stuff to do. And so you get there, and you say, you ran off again, get in the car. And then you load up your stuff. And then they have to watch your car, and the store's legally responsible for your kid for that half hour. I think that is a viable option as well if you don't want to make them read or play games because you need that space in the cart. I don't know. What do you think?
Please ignore the last 1-minute rant from Derek. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He is not leaving children in thrift stores.
To be fair, I don't have kids. to be fair.
Wow.
But I think that's a great idea.
The problem is he had about 8 about every other year, but he just keeps losing.
Well, that's why I thought the bracelet with the phone number. Before, you get that mixed communication, somebody doesn't pick him up on time, then who knows who gets them.
Just stop. Take your kids with you. Get them involved. Like the Shopkins, that's my daughter. Like she liked them and she saw it. She looked it up and found, hey, let's try this. My son, like I said, they get him involved. They get him involved with games because they like playing board games, which there's another hot tip. Don't get your kid another Nintendo Switch or...
You're killing these people that sell this stuff. You know some of our people sell this.
Well, I'm just telling you. Like,
I might be selling Nintendo Switches to kids.
Well, I'm sure that a kid who already has one Nintendo Switch, this is probably his 3rd updated version. So the kid's got enough Nintendo Switch.
You didn't get your kid a Nintendo Switch.
No. He's getting a board game. We played the farming game from 1994 for 3 hours last night.
3 hours?
Yeah.
Did you at least harvest your alfalfa?
Heck yeah, I won. I know, it's all with the fruit. I won with the fruit. The fruit, oh man, you roll the dice.
That makes sense.
$87,000 the last roll. Oh yeah.
That's up.
All I'm saying is, get them involved, like literally get them involved. Don't just like brush it off or pretend that you're, treat it like you're teaching them something that they can use forever.
And Adam says that because he counts his kids as dependents and he gets tax money back from them because this is DeathPiles and Taxes, not Dr. How to Raise Your Kids show.
Well, yeah, and you're raising your own employees for your future thrift store.
That's not bad.
Online thrift store.
I'm just trying to give them that store experience for that half hour a week.
Just stop.
Well, I think it's a viable idea.
You're an idiot.
Well, says you.
All right.
I got fan mail saying otherwise. Need I read it?
Getting a nice text from Barb doesn't count.
Well, getting a nice text from Karen certainly does.
Well, I'm sure it is, and that really doesn't count either. So let me get to my other question. That's how do you get your kids involved? Like I said, teach them. Let them go in and do it. They're smart kids, like most kids. They know how to use a cell phone.
That's because they're on the machines all the day, learning how to do the technology instead of book learning.
That's right. Well, if you're gonna teach them the technology, get them to list stuff on the internet so you can make money from it. The other question is exactly like what's the best way to like keep track of expenses? Like we've talked about this in the past. It just kind of depends on how much money you're putting into this. Because you only want to spend money when it's going to be worth your while. But then I'm also to the instance that if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right the first time. Use the GoDaddy bookkeeping. I know there's several out there. I use a lot of QuickBooks Online. That's from some of my larger businesses. Whatever decision you try to use, do it consistently. Like have some sort of a system in place, like how much you're spending. Have a spreadsheet saying how much you spend on things so that when it comes to tax time, you know what you're doing.
And why I like that option is whether you're doing QuickBooks or GoDaddy or whatever, is because when I swipe that certain card, it automatically deducts it. When I sell something on eBay, I don't have to go in there and adjust it. If you're running your own spreadsheet because you're pretty tight, like some people that we know, you got to take your own time. You got to go do all that updating and your own receipts and all that. So you figure out what your time is worth. It might be worth just investing in the software. You're not going to mix up anything.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, all that stuff's tax deductible as well.
Yeah.
So
if you spend $200 on software, great. You spend $200 on software, and now you don't pay taxes on $200.
Exactly.
And how many hours did you save? That's the whole thing, is how much your time is worth money. Understand that.
You get those kids' years down there entering those receipts, though. That's teaching them some labor, and you're getting them. They can be taking over your accounting business. And then that way, they just update your spreadsheet for you. You pay them a nickel an hour, and you're none the wiser.
That's not good.
I'm not editing anything out this week.
Oh.
This is all going on.
Okay.
So any long blank spots of whatever, not cutting them.
I'm just trying to get to the
I
next
need to get to Turkey Town.
You do need. I'm just trying to get to our next question. We had a lot of good questions this week.
Yeah.
If any of you are in any of those groups, like I'm gonna let the secret. Should I peel back the curtain?
Might as well. It seems like a good time to do it.
Anytime you're in any of the online Facebook groups and there's a comment by two bearded gentlemen saying, "Hey, I heard that on Death Pile and Taxes."
I don't know what you're talking about.
I heard it on Death Pile Taxes from the guy sitting across from me.
That's just some guy that happens to have the same name as me, sharing the same program. We just need listeners.
It's very true.
We're happy.
So.
We're happy for everyone that comes and gives us a try. And here's my thought is, because some people might get a little not know what they're in for the first time. If you listen to us for 2 to 3 episodes, you'll be hooked. That's about a guarantee I'll put on there.
It's like the old Jim Rome saying, like, you got to get in, you got to catch the lingo, but there are nuggets of information that we're giving out. Like, over the past, I've learned more about eBay stuff in, like, every single episode. I learned something new from Derek, because, like I said, he is the champion. Like, if there's been an issue, he's gone through it. If there's a reason, he's done it.
I fought Vince McMahon and I've won. Let me say that while you're looking this up, let me just, I got a question too. For realsies. This isn't just me going off things, right?
Okay, give me your realsies.
Okay, so I got a question that said, what do you do if a person doesn't pay after I accept an offer? I sent a reminder to this guy. He had 300 positive feedbacks. What do you do if somebody doesn't pay? Have you ever encountered that, Adam? I know you're kind of new. I just wondered if you ever had that happen.
We have, but I don't ship it until it's paid. Like, I don't do anything until money is in my account.
Yeah, but how do you make somebody pay?
Well, it's funny. Okay, so you're saying that because we've had the same issue. We've had people that have paid, but the transaction never was completed. So it's the same thing. You have to message them saying you've paid for the item. Like, what's your next step? When is it going to really happen? And it's kind of one of those things. Like, that product is stuck in limbo until it's released after 7 days or something, and then you can sell it to somebody else.
So here's what I say, and I just asked you because you're a new seller. You haven't went through it. I was just wondering, or as many times, because sometimes that happens, and you're like, all right, I just sold a $50 item, and the guy doesn't pay for a few days. So one thing, like Adam said, send him a message, say, hey, buddy, I see that you sold or bought 300. You know how the system works. Be nice about it. This is Derek fired up a little bit. You obviously know how the system works. I got this ready for you. It's ready to ship. What do we need to do to get this? Is there something going on? And if they don't send you anything back, or if they do, they'll explain themselves. Another option you have is open an unpaid item case. With my store, I have this automatically come on. If somebody hasn't paid me after 3 days, it automatically opens an unpaid item case. And what happens with that is eBay sends them some big formal from eBay letter that says, hey, you owe Adam $50, pal.
Yeah.
You better pay him, or else we'll have a strike on your account, and Vince McMahon will come over and tell you this is a counterfeit product to your face, buddy. And they get scared, and they say, okay, I better pay. Now, sometimes people don't like receiving that, and they're like, come on, man, it's just been a couple days. I'm just waiting for payday, buddy.
Yeah, but
if they don't communicate that with you, how are you supposed to know, right? Because you can sell to somebody else. It's a busy time of year. And so if that happens, you have to wait for that process to complete itself, and you can relist your item. Another thing that you can do is you can send an invoice. There's an option to send an invoice. There's a little message on there, and you just send them the invoice saying, hey, here's your options to ship it, and this is how much you owe me. And, so I try all 3 of those things. First off, the friendly message. Second off, send the invoice. Third, open your unpaid item towards that person, that item.
yeah, it's all new. You're going to learn, and every one of these instances, you're all going to have a first. You're going to have a first cease and desist letter from eBay. You're going to have a first audit letter from the IRS because you forgot that, eBay sent me a 1099K that's saying I had this much in transactions. Like, that's what happens every single year. There's more things that happen. You're going to get your first, hey, they're taking sales tax out. What does that mean? Like,
why are you charging me sales tax?
There's going to be, I have to pay ProPay fee or PayPal fees on that. Yes, there's a lot that goes into it. But you're here to learn. Like, you can learn anything now on either podcast, your Death Piles and Taxes, home to your greatest value of information, anything eBay, anything tax related, all these online Facebook groups. Like, you can ask a question and people will come back and give you the answers for free.
And they'll direct you to listen to their podcast, perhaps.
That's right. So stop, worrying about it. Like, go make some money. Like, I mean, literally, like these Shopkins, like we bought them on clearance for I think $5 each,
Dirtbag.
and I think it's going to cost like 10, maybe $12 to ship. Okay, that's $32. Take out $3, $4 in fees. Like we're going to walk away with $30 that we did literally maybe 15 minutes of work, if that, and it's fun for my kids. Like I talked about it, like we're going and doing activities now, where before we'd go to the movies or go to whatever place and spend money. Now we're spending money, but they're refunding it and some because we're selling the product that we spent the time finding.
And then kids are going to get to Disneyland on it, and they're going to feel. I mean, it's cool to get a vacation. It's cool for mom and dad to take you, but they'll have some value of we accomplished this.
Yeah.
We're paying for this. I get that churro because I worked for it.
Un churro.
I get that, to go down and buy that picture of Splash Mountain because we sold some Shopkins.
Because it's such a young age, and like it says, yes, read a book, play a board game, but also be involved in real technology. Because you can be a 13-year-old entrepreneur and have a business that's selling $100,000 online.
Hey, did you ever play the Skip Bow game?
Absolutely,
We played some Skip Bow the other day at the Everett residence.
love it,
Just saying.
love that.
I know you're a game guy. I just guilted you a bit for the people that are buying all these Nintendo products from me. But
What about the game DOS?
no, you're thinking. So okay.
No, not.
I know that exists.
DOS.
I've seen it.
I just thought that was
I
funny.
think it's a knockoff. Let me tell you this story.
You know a lot
You
about
got this question coming up, but I work with a Hispanic man, and he tells me he's my buddy, Benito. No, this is a true story. And Benito, he's an Uber driver, and he's always hustling. He's a great guy, but he was trying to tell me last year.
Chandole.
This was last year. Yeah, I wish that he's no longer working where I work because some things happened, but Benito's a great guy. And he tells me, he's trying to tell me about his holidays last year, and he said to me, Derek, and I said, yeah. He said, have you ever played that card game? I said, what card game, man? This is honest. If I'm lying, I'm dying. This is a true story. He says to me, card game 1. And I said, what? He said, the card game 1. I said, 1? Like the name, like John? And I thought maybe it was some form of poker or something. He goes, no, 1. And I said, 1? He goes, yeah. And it took me a minute to click, and I said, oh, Uno. He goes, oh, yeah, Uno. But he's like, he thought that for an English speaker that there was a game called 1, and it wasn't just Uno universally. And that gave me, I laughed about that one for a while. And I said, no, Benito, it's Uno. That's what we call it, too, in the English-speaking part of the world here. So that was a true story. That was about last year, about this time, when you get together on holidays with your families and stuff. So have you ever played the game 1?
Yes, I've played the game 1.
And shout out to Benito, who's out there driving the Ubers and the Lyfts around. If you're ever in central Utah and you get picked up by Benito, tell him that you're a friend of Derek, and you'll get good stories. We can't offer a discount.
We're pumped to get some more Uber stories here coming up.
He's a good dude.
Man, we've already burned through half the show.
Well, let's do one more. Let's do one more question, and then we'll come back.
We've kind of hit the same question.
Okay.
We talked about doing the bookkeeping because somebody's writing it down. So, I'm pumped. I want to get into the Uber drivers again. Want to thank our sponsor, Lunatic. I've already used it.
I did too.
We used it. Like we've been using it.
I've been using it. I've made me a few things. And here's the thing, too, with them. Promo code DeathPile. I'm not going to put it on the end this time. Maybe I will if you use them. You can also get concert tickets, just regular season games, for all your sports and things. So give them a try if you've tried those other ticket sites. Lunatics and promo code DeathPiles. It says 10% off is what they told me, but
11.
Adam got 11, and I went home and I got 11 on some tickets I was eyeing up. So let's go to break, man.
We are sports fans. We believe. We are all in. We deserve to see our team in the biggest playoff and championship games, but tickets are gone or too expensive. We're Lunatics, the #1 ticket site for fans to reserve playoff or championship tickets for any team in any game. Hold or resell your reservations all year long. When your team makes the game, you get the tickets. Want regular season tickets? Buy any tickets with no fees, and we'll give you 20% back to reserve any postseason tickets you want. Any other ticket sites offer you that? No chance. Be there and tell the story forever. Lunatics.com.
Well, it's that time of the year. It's time to file your taxes. What a daunting task. Can you imagine sitting in your basement, taking all 12 months of all your receipts and just trying to figure that out?
I got that shoebox full of receipts, and I'm going to make this work.
And then what do? You get online and you try and figure it out yourself. It ain't worth it, man. Hey, you need to file your taxes. Go to adamupaccounting.com. We'd be happy to help you. We understand resellers like crazy. We know how to file your taxes. We know how to put all your expenses in the right categories. We know how to take care of it timely, that you feel like, oh, this is well worth it. I should have been doing this my entire life. Look at Derek. Look what he used to be. And look what we've got him trained into now.
I'm a champion of the interwebs.
That's what your Twitter says. So go to adamupaccounting.com. You can find us on there. You can message us directly. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to help you out so that we can decrease the stress that you have coming up in the next few months.
If you're not on Visible Mobile, what are you doing with your life? You just must like to waste money. Visible Mobile, Adam. What is it? I'm here to tell you, it's a new phone service running on your Verizon network. You can pay as little as $25 now. They've got this new thing that's called a party plan.
The party line.
It's like a family plan, except for you don't have to go around and collect all the money from everyone. Everyone pays their own bill.
I don't have to Venmo my cousin.
You don't have to Venmo your cousin Eddie. You don't have to go down that trailer park and try to wake up Granny and tell her, get out of your wagon and give me your money.
So you're saying I need to get on Visible Mobile to start saving money every single month?
All in, $40 a month, down to $25 depending on how your party plan goes. You get unlimited everything. You get the best coverage there is available. You have a mobile hotspot included, and you know, it's just the better thing to do right now. Of course, when you go there, you're going to use our promo code. Adam, do you remember our promo code?
Not yet.
Well, I'm going to tell you what it is. BVWVQ. And let me say that for you phonetically. That's Bravo, Victor, Whiskey, Victor, Quebec.
Go to Visible Mobile.
Because I got to get ready to go to Marysville.
Oh, well, you're on the air.
Well, I'm not editing that either.
Well, good.
I got to gets to getting on.
We're just getting our travel plans together here.
We're taking the road, the show on the road here in a little bit, and more to be announced on that.
We're doing some special sourcing next week at this time. Getting some good food. But we're also discussing our lunatic, discussing our options there. So we're pumped.
Well, Adam, what you got? I feel like I kind of just ran roughshod, and you probably had something nice and planned out for the start of the show, and I just went like a cannonball out of the cannon.
That's high energy, man. I love your high energy. You get what you do. You fight for it. And I feel like you going against eBay, it's like you're President Trump, man. You're just fighting against the back. You're fighting back.
Now, here's a little tip for you, Adam. I know that Thanksgiving's coming up. You don't bring up politics and you don't bring up religion at your Thanksgiving table, and you definitely don't bring that up at the Death Piles and Taxes if you don't want me to ramble on for the next half hour and lose half of our audience.
Well, I'm just saying, like you fight against what you know is right.
You stand up for what you believe in. It's better if you're right, though. It helps you a lot more if you're right. So I'll just say that. If you can prove your case, if they have a case against you and you have evidence that proves that you're right, that helps.
That's very true. No, I'm just excited. I guess I'm going to get into one kind of nerdy tax thing. Can I do that?
Please.
Being self-employed, there's so many different triggers to it. The biggest one that a lot of people don't think about is health insurance. Have you ever had to worry about that?
I really have. That's a big thing for a lot of people.
There's this weird thing that goes on right now with Obamacare, with supplemental policies. There's so many different things that happen. obviously, having health insurance is extremely important because you just never know what's going to happen. But a lot of it, if you're on the governmental subsidy, if you're on Obamacare, if you go to healthcare.gov, and that's where you get your your health insurance, your taxes are directly related to that. Your eBay store, if you're self-employed and you're selling online and you're doing that for a living, then my guess is you probably have health insurance that's self-coverage. There's a lot of different people that go on separate type of forums or groups. You can go on where there's like a Christian minister healthcare, where it's kind of like a pooling group. There's other ones that different entities that they kind of pool their funds together, and it's not Obamacare, or it's not, certain regulations. But you want to, if you're looking at that and you have any questions about health insurance, reach out to us. Like it says, contact us on our website, Adam Up Accounting. I'd be happy to answer those questions because they are extremely difficult.
Don't contact at DRoy Everett on the Instagram or the Twitter, because I have no clue. And I call it the Affordable Care Act, so I don't even know what this Obamacare is all about.
Well, it's the same difference, just a different name.
Okay.
But that's what it is depending on how much money you make, you're literally talking, if you go over the threshold, this is going to be the dumbest thing that you've ever heard of. If you go over a certain threshold, depending on the number of people in your family, for instance, let's just say that it's $83,000, okay? If you go over that $83,000 by one singular dollar, the full amount kicks in. So instead of you having to pay back $2,500, now you have to pay back $11,000. So in a certain instance, $1 will cost you $7,000 in taxes, which is very easily fixable as being self-employed.
Well, folks, if you have any questions, I take Adam up on that offer, adamupaccounting.com. You can chat at him, or it has a phone number there.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is I just met with my fine insurance guy today, and he's phenomenal because we get it, because now insurance and IRS issues, they're tied together, and we're able to talk the talk and know how to legally, the best way, work the system so that you get the best insurance at the least pricing. So it's been really, really good. So again, same thing. If you're trying to take care of this insurance thing on your own, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like these insurance, like they don't charge you to have them do your insurance stuff. It's not like you got to go in and pay him $500 to sit down. Like they make money by the policy that you sign up for, and their best interest is to make sure that you're covered. So go see somebody who can help you with. So there's your three things you got to have. You got to have a good tax man, you got to have a great mechanic, and you got to have an excellent insurance person if you're self-employed.
That's very true. So if Adam doesn't get back to you, you can get to me on the Instagram or the Twitter, and I'll give you his personal phone number.
We get back to people on these
Adam
tax
gets
issues.
back to you. I'm not worried about it.
This is what the area that I'm passionate about, because it's learning how to fix it, because it is an issue. It's a problem. It's not a problem. It's one of those unforeseen things that people don't think about if you're going in that tweener mode of part-time to full-time.
That's great information.
Well, thank you.
Hey, I got something. I think this will tickle your fancy a bit.
If you're going to bring in some shrimp, you already said me a tickle.
You know how people always say, I don't know what to sell, I don't have anything, and we always say go to your house and start off there.
I do.
So I was listening to another podcast that will be nameless at this point, and they had this fact come up. I haven't checked it. That's why I'm saying this isn't my exact fact.
Okay.
The average household, the average person in America has $3,500 worth of stuff sitting around their house that they do not use.
Isn't that crazy?
$3,500 on average. Some have less, some have more. We know some of you are minimalists and some of you are hoarders. But in there's about $3,000 to $4,000 of things just sitting there that you don't even use, that you walk by every day, and that you could be putting on the eBay or the internet or the yard sales or whatever, and turning that into sweet, sweet cash.
I believe it. And, we talk a lot of eBay too. You don't have to just sell on eBay. There's so many forums. eBay's obviously the one we know the most about, but I mean, your Facebook Marketplace, that's a great place to sell, especially this time of year.
And you don't have to pay your taxes from it.
You do have to pay your taxes from it.
Allegedly. There's no one there to turn you in. Adam will tell you that you have to, but if you give me $20, I might forget about it because it was all cash. Allegedly. No. I might go back to jail. I'm sorry. I should have said that.
There's a reason you got kicked off of eBay for your shady deals.
Just saying. That's cash money. Or Venmo money, which will be taxed seriously.
I can't talk about these things on the air.
I know. Adam didn't say that. That was me.
Yeah. So get out. Like you said, if you have something, like legitimately say, this is what I want to do. If I had an extra $2,000, I would what?
I would fill in the blank, a Mad Libs of your life of what you do with the money.
Oh, that was such a fun game.
I'm sure your kids are probably playing it. You're probably just whiting out the answers and having them fill them in from the kids at the thrift store.
What another great Christmas gift. Get your kids a Mad Libs book.
You can just print them off the internet. You don't even got to buy the book.
Man, you know what my kids really do like from the thrift shops? Garfield books.
Well, everyone loves Garfield. He hates Mondays and loves lasagna.
I mean,
what's not to like about that guy?
Garfield books, like my kids eat those up. Like they've read all, like I know there's like dozens of them out there. So that's what the one thing they go search for is Garfield books.
And some of those might be valuable. Who knows? You might want to look into the Garfield world. There might be some rare books that are more collectible than others that your kids could go and get.
I've never thought about that. I've never even looked up to see what those Garfield books go.
You might be surprised.
So yeah.
So what was I derailing about there previously to this?
You just wanted me to go over some more tax items.
Oh, so here's what it was, because I said you didn't have to pay taxes and it threw y'all off. Buying on Facebook Market Group, but also I watch a lot of sports. I watch a lot of football. Last night I'm watching Monday Night Football, and an ad comes up for Macari.
I saw that.
And that's been going around a lot. eBay has ads up. If you go to our friends over at Sellhound and you do the fetch that we talked about, which is kind of like a search just to see what things are selling for, kind of gives you a market value, it will bring up a bunch of online retailers or places that you can list, sell at, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And there's multiple there, so you can go try them all out. A lot of people do their Etsy thing.
Yeah.
There's Poshmark. There's just tons of places. So maybe you don't like eBay and you want to sell somewhere else. Obviously, Amazon's a giant. I mean, we haven't even talked about them. Just get listed, get selling, figure out where you want to sell and hit it.
Can I tell you something that I know somebody that sells on Etsy? Do you want to know what they sell?
I'd love to.
They sell a board that goes across your bathtub so you can rest your laptop and wine glass across your tub.
Ooh, the tub board. What's it called?
The tub board.
So if you're listening to this and thinking, that sounds like something I need,
it's like $40-$50.
Is it fine wood?
He builds it out of his garage. It's fine wood.
Has it been lacquered?
Fine Brazilian cherry root.
Probably smells really nice.
Lacquered, sprinkled with magic oil.
You could probably put a nice candle on there, really relax.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's one of those things like, wow, that guy sells that on the internet and he makes pretty good money.
Hey, if you're somebody that's crafty, I know I don't have the skills to do that kind of stuff. Woodworking, all that kind of stuff. I'm not good at it.
Was that a Beastie Boys reference right there?
Which one?
She's crafty?
She's Crafty, a Beastie Boys song?
Really?
You gotta fight for your right to party. I know Trevor Hooper wrote that song.
Oh, yeah, she's crafty. I thought we were friends.
We are friends.
Okay.
Anyway, maybe it was.
So if you're crafty.
If you're crafty. She is crafty. Okay. I'm just all over the place. Now you got me jumbled up.
If you're crafty, like I said, you can sell on Etsy.
But Etsy's the place to go if you're good with woodworking, if you're good with sewing. People want these kind of things. I mean, there's people that want those foot warmers where you put the rice in them. This time of year, they microwave them up, and you put them in your bed so it's warm when you go to bed.
Imagine this. If we had a system in place that children from the age 5 to 18 had a place to go to where they would learn how to sew and they learn how to do woodworking. Wouldn't that be amazing?
We used to have that, but apparently we don't anymore.
Oh,
it's called 4-H.
The technology doesn't teach you how to do woodworking or sewing?
Apparently can't even read.
Allegedly.
Bring him over to Adam's house and he'll put them to work.
We'll teach him up good.
But yeah, some people have those skills, right? And
Yeah.
those same people might not feel comfortable going to thrift stores. They might not care about sports cards because that's silly, right? For some people, that's what it is. You might be a Ron Swanson. You know Ron?
Ron Papil.
Ron Swanson, a real man's man. Google him. You'll enjoy him.
Okay.
You ever watch Parks and Rec?
I told you that's not my show. Never seen it.
Well, you'll enjoy Ron Swanson. Anyways, he's that kind of a man. He builds his own canoes, things like that, right?
News.
So, butchers his own meat. If that's who you are, or you're the homemaker that just has those skills, and maybe eBay's not the place for you, but Etsy certainly is.
Yeah.
And you'd be amazed what people will pay for that kind of stuff.
It's buku bucks. People like homemade. People like to support people that are doing those kind of things.
And it's also, it's good quality.
Yeah.
It's a nice bath board, and it will float if it gets in the water.
That's right.
Your laptop might not. So, Adam, the other day, I always follow up, and I don't only just listen to the show, but I take my own advice. And we talked about this a few weeks ago. I was talking to you about sports cards, right? And there's this thing with our friends, and we have our friends text, and it goes crazy sometimes. But I was talking with our friend Michael Painter, who's the third member of the show. He's like the fifth Beatle right now. He's never been on the record, but he'll be there soon enough.
Hashtag Husky
section. And I said, because he was going to go over to Walmart, because we talked about this Lamar Jackson the other day. You remember this conversation?
Absolutely.
And we Googled what was trending, and there were some Washington National players that were trending.
Juan Soto.
So I have a bunch of cards, and I just go to the clearance section.
Yeah.
And this was the first of the year, I guess. And I got some football cards, and we sent in our cards, if you remember.
I'm still waiting for my
They've been graded. They're on their way back. Hopefully they're here in time for our trip.
Ooh.
But, so I just go through them kind of fast, and if there's something that looks like it's valuable or stands out, I pull it out of the pack. And the rest I just kind of keep there. But occasionally I'll go back through because things happen in a season, and things, people get more popular.
Lamar Jackson.
And so Michael Painter was talking about Lamar Jackson. I think we talked about this last week.
We did, yeah.
And so I thought, man, I need to go through my cards again. So I go through my cards, and what do I find but 2 Lamar Jackson rookie cards and a Juan Soto rookie card. And so I thought, well, this has got to be valuable because I heard me talk about it on the DeathPiles and Taxes show.
This has got to be valuable.
So I know I must have been onto something, right? And so I did me a little search. That Soto card, now, true, it's got to be graded, but it's going for upwards of anywhere from about $150 to $300.
The one card.
The one card.
Love it.
And it's because he's hot at the World Series. And, of course, it's got to be graded. And it all depends on what that is. We went on a big rant.
It's worth $50,000.
And Lamar Jackson came out last night and just made the Rams look silly. So I'm thinking he might be the MVP this year.
Yeah.
So if I can get that in, that's going to be some good money as well. So for those of you that have been living underneath a rock and haven't listened to all of our episodes but made it this far in this one, I don't know who this person is.
Yeah, who is that person?
It's somebody, though. What I'll do is I'll go to like a Walmart or, it used to be Kmart or Shopko. And a lot of people don't buy as many cards as they used to, so you can get what they call a blister pack, which is a big-looking box. Like, not a full box, but it's got multiple packs in there.
Yeah.
And you can get them on clearance for dollars, like, not very much. And I started this with my pro wrestling cards that we've talked about, but if it's the right price for baseball or football, I'll get that. And I'll just go through, and if there's any names I really recognize or rookie cards, I usually put those to the side and, go do some research. And I usually just keep them all together because every couple of years somebody gets popular and famous and I might have that card. Well, most of the time these cards are already 1 to 2 years old, if not more. So you kind of can see who's developed. And that's where I found these cards. So I went and found, I think it was 2018 or 2000, well, for those, Lamar Jackson it was. I'm not sure on the baseball where they were. It doesn't really matter. But I was able to get these for very, 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 not much at all. I just took my time to sort through them, and that's that.
You just brought up a good story because I was talking about this because we get into sports cards because they're valuable. My friend here.
Some are hit or miss.
Yeah, they can be valuable.
They can be.
My friend here in the office, Warburton, he's got a kid who he was over at some friend's house, okay, and his kid's, I think the kid's like 7 years old. And he goes over to his friends and said, "Hey, let's go check out your cards." So he's going down to check out their cards, and he's doing the same thing. Like, he knows that the kid's 7, and he's looking at different things, and he's saying, hey, what do you think about that Lamar Jackson card? You probably don't want it. Do you think I can maybe buy it from you?
I got $5 here. I'll buy you a Big Mac, kid.
And then it's funny, because then they go and talk to their mom, and they're like, yeah, or whatever.
They don't care.
But the kid, for Christmas, okay, he wants an authentic signed Babe Ruth rookie card.
Wow. Good luck on that one.
So then my buddy's like, so what do I need? Do we need to get a rip-off and I'll sign it for you? It's an authentic signed card.
So they have these things that are the facsimile, is that what it's called? It's like a fake signature, but they sell them as like reproductions. You can probably do something like that.
Yeah.
So Waddy has a buddy that's this big sports collector.
Okay.
And he's a pharmacist, so he's got lots of money. And so Waddy's been helping him out, try to find some things, and it's just kind of fun to be involved. And he tells me the other day that this guy wants a Babe Ruth signed baseball.
Okay.
And by the time Waddy found one for him and said, hey, here's a place you might want to go and find one, dude had already flown like a couple states over and bought one.
Wow.
So that just sparked that memory. So, I mean, there is money in this. It might not be your niche, and that's fine.
And even if it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Spend $20 and buy a box and educate yourself.
If you like sports at all and it's kind of interesting to you at all, because that's what you grew up with, if it might as well be shuffling a deck of cards and it's going to pull your hair out, go to the Pokemon, go to the Yu-Gi-Oh, go to the Magic, or just don't do cards and do whatever you do.
Yeah, dude, there's plenty of, literally, there's everything you could sell on the internet. Everything.
My dad, old Everett Denny, was on the Facebook the other day, and we were over at the house, and he's just kind of giggling. Well, he's watching these Pawn Stars. They have like little segments on, how videos come up on that.
Yep.
And this was old Rick, and somebody was trying to sell them some Pokemon cards. And old Chum Lee was trying to educate Rick on what they were, but this guy had a Charizard of some nature.
Oh, wow.
And it was worth, I think, his whole collection he was asking $500,000 for.
Wow.
And this card alone was worth over $100,000. And it was graded, PSA graded, like we talked about.
There you go.
It was a 10, so we might joke around, but there's serious business out there. And so if your children or neighborhood children collect Pokemon in the early days, of course, condition and stuff, your mileage may vary. That might be worth going over to the mom and saying, hey, they still have those cards. I'm doing a little project or whatever. I'd like to buy those from you.
Yeah.
It might be worth getting your education in that way, like Adam says.
There's education in everything. And like he says, whatever your kids are interested in right now, see what it is on eBay. Like I said, see what it is online, because if they're educated, if they're involved in it, then they're going to be like, so hold on a second. You're telling me I can make money by doing what I already do and understanding the market for it and make money to do this?
And I mean, yeah, you got to grade them. It costs money at some point. You got to make an investment. But it's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to spend $120 on a stupid Nintendo Switch for the kid.
Which won't be worth anything for 30 years.
Well, yeah, that's what
Give
I'm
or
saying.
take.
Yeah, and what's he going to do? Rot away his brain on Nintendo Switch?
But here's the thing. Maybe you like Nintendos, right?
True.
There's old systems go for a lot. Old certain games go for a lot. Do the same practice. Go to the pawn shops. Go to the thrift stores. Find the old video games. And there's a place that I should look up. I think it's Price Charting or PriceGameCharting.com.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it will tell you what every video game's worth, what every video game system's worth. Again, condition on these things is something, but you go to yard sales, you might be sitting looking at a couple $100 of games you've never heard of that they're willing to sell for quarters.
Well, which brings me up like a question I have for you, because I know you've sold these in the past. I want to make sure I get the right thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not bah humbug against everything. Like, playing video games, it's all time. It's when you spend your time and everything. We were somewhere and my kid doesn't know how to play Mario Brothers.
That's a barren fail.
And I realized that. Like, I got it. Obviously, when I was a kid, like, I played Nintendo like every other kid. Read books, read all these things. But now I think it's just different because now you can have an addiction for it.
It's very time-consuming.
Yeah, very time-consuming. You know, there's time.
I played a lot of video games.
Yeah, time and everything. So, along with the books, the Mad Libs, I'd like to be able to spend some time. I want to get one of the retro Nintendo systems but like not the rip-off ones, because I've seen one that has like
You don't want the ones that's going to get you a letter from eBay saying
Yes.
this is going to catch fire and burn down your house.
yes, there's one that has 600 games.
Yeah, no.
And it's like a Japanese rip-off or something. And there's another one that has like 30 games. Like, where does it guy? I want to get the right one.
Well, I've sold plenty of them.
That's why I'm asking you.
I'd go to, jeez. I'm wondering if Walmart. So this year, Sega put out one. It depends what system you want. Sega put out one, and PlayStation put out one last year. And they weren't nearly as popular as Nintendo because that's just how they were. But the Sega one, they have a handful of games. The PlayStation one, I think, had quite a few games. I didn't buy that. Depending on which one you want. If you want the Mario, there's a Super Nintendo and there's a Nintendo one. And they're probably just available right now if they're still in stock,
Yeah, I
just
can
at your
see it.
Walmart.
I can see it right here.
They sold out pretty fast, but then they brought some of them back. And I haven't really checked up on them. But I might have to go over to DeathPiles and Taxes and see what I got.
Wow.
I don't have any of the original Nintendo, but I might have a Super Nintendo left.
I'm
from
not
last
looking
year.
for an original. I think this is the one I'm looking here.
A little bit of Nintendo Minis. Everyone's
Yeah.
probably. I was standing in lines and stuff for them a few years ago. That was a hot ticket item
Yep.
around Christmas, and then they discontinued it. And my brother happened to have one when they discontinued it. And he made it a good sum, and then due to popular demand, they brought them back. I don't know if they've discontinued them since then. That's why I don't really have a good answer for you on that. But that's video games and nostalgia and childhood, and like you're saying, you don't want to buy the one that's going to catch fire that might have 20,000 games on it, but your house burns down.
Like this one. This one looks like it's the one that's going to catch fire.
Yeah, and you can kind of see, if you look at the box, you can tell if they're really authentic, and if they have just a list of games, maybe off the air, I'll have you talk to Aaron or something. He's got all sorts of different ways of putting games on things. But
So that's the thing is you educate yourself about what your purchase is. Have fun with it too. This is a good time of year, man. It's so crazy. Like, could you imagine, like, we're so freaking spoiled. Like, I couldn't imagine going to a country that they don't even have clean water. And we have $3,500 of junk running around.
And if you're saying, I don't have $3,500 of junk, let me give you some name brands that you might have. And these are hot name brands that might be selling right now.
Okay.
I'm giving a gift. I want to give our listeners a little preseason Black Friday holiday gift.
Okay.
Here's some popular brands that are currently doing well on eBay, right? So, Nike. Of course, everyone's heard of Nike.
Yeah.
It holds up value. Whether it's new or used, it resells very well. LuLaRoe. You hear of LuLaRoe, Adam?
No comment.
Your wife has if you haven't. That's also something that when you're out thrifting. So here's a list of things while you're thrifting or whether you're buying new that does very well. There's a place I know. I once applied to work at this place. Well, I went and got an application for this place. It's Victoria's Secret. Have you ever heard of Victoria's Secret?
Victoria's Secret is she voted for Adam for his senior class council.
There you go. So Victoria's Secret, it's not just the underwear and stuff. They have, I don't know what you call it, activewear, lotions, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
You wouldn't applied for a job there.
I went and got an application once because it's back when I was working at the mall, and I think I got dared, so I went in there and asked for an application. And got some weird looks, but it was worth it. Didn't get no numbers.
Move on.
But they sell other things. I saw it because people are going to be like, oh, Derek's saying go buy women's underwear and sell it. No, they sell lotions and all sorts of different sweaters, all that kind of stuff. So it's a brand that sells and that you might have around the house. Maybe you outgrew it. I don't know. Gap, right? Gap and Old Navy,
Yeah.
Banana Republic. Those are all the same, or they all were the same company. I don't know if they still are, that Cousin Trent used to work at. But it holds value, and people are looking for these kind of products. Adidas.
Yep.
Adidas.
I had a look. I've got like a vintage Adidas shirt because I still had it when I was like 16, and it was like the classic. It was like a soccer jersey. It was like the silky kind of thing, and
Yeah.
it had the big fat logo on it.
I know what you're talking
3
about.
stripes.
What color was it?
It's blue.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I just moved that box because they took my nostalgia stuff that I wore in high school and I put it in a box.
Your nostalgia stuff that you still wore in high school right now is called vintage 90s stuff that sells for good money on eBay right now.
Well, I told you those are my first sales is a stupid vest and Seinfeld game.
I know, but if you need to get to Disneyland and these bowl games, I'm thinking it's time to tap into that. Get it up on your cell hand. You're just at home for the holidays right now. Get them kids working.
Can we hurry up and get done? I'm going to go check out my basement stuff.
Michael Kors, people still want to know these brands.
That's true.
And see, Adidas, everyone thinks shoes, but Adam just said a T-shirt they remembered.
Yeah.
So some of these have multiple uses. Michael Kors, Levi's, right? You got your jeans. Jeans always sell well, but also they have the jeans jackets and the shirts and all that kind of a thing. Under Armour, same kind of thing. Activewear. Every time I can get Under Armour, and I get some at that MPS store that I've talked about that we haven't brought up in a while, that stuff is just like as soon as you can list it, it basically sells. It goes for a good chunk of money. Let's see. Disney's huge right now because you got the Disney Plus. You got all the movies. Adam just went and saw Frozen 2. He told me the other day.
I did.
What's your review on that, Adam?
I enjoyed it.
So
it made my son laugh. So that's how you knew it was good.
So that's just a sampling of what's available, right? You got any of that stuff sitting around your house, Adam?
I'm checking out these Adidas shirts. Like depending on which one you have, I mean that's at least a 30 spot in your pocket.
And right now it's just in your nostalgia box collecting tears and moth
There's
balls.
one here that's like $100.
So there you go. We got Adam off topic. That's always good when I got Adam searching for his own stuff to sell. I know of his sweet spot. Usually it's like cards or video games, but now it's his Adidas 90s shirt that everyone knows what he's talking about that was around at that time because it's very popular.
It's a good stuff. So there's just a lot of things. Like he says, think about the things that you're buying and realizing, I wonder if that kind of stuff that I do have sitting around that, because you're replacing. Like we're a country of stuff. Like you only have so much room in your house, and I've got 2 bags full of clothes that are going to we'll get rid of that are just hanging out. So,
and that's the thing again. Like we said a couple of weeks ago, but this time, people like Adam are donating their stuff.
Yeah,
and they're doing it so they can get space for the new stuff coming in for the holidays. Usually,
that's right.
They might have some good stuff.
Yep.
Going to your thrift store, it might be gently used or new, or they get stuff for Christmas that they just don't want to bring in the house, and they take it to the thrift store. So now's a great time to be sourcing to get some good, slightly or not used stuff.
I haven't been sourcing for a while.
Well, you need to get listed for a while.
I know. I got it. I got my.
I'm gonna give you. Let's do a Christmas challenge. You're always wanting to do these things. Listing challenges, motivated.
It's true.
We're both busy. We both got a lot going on for the holidays, but
It's true.
let's do till Christmas. Let's do something. I know that we might be going similar destinations depending on how football teams do.
It's true.
Maybe we put a dinner or something.
Oh, a dinner wager, huh?
Something like that. Does that interest you?
So set the parameters first, because
That just came to my mind. I think we go till the end of the year, December 31st from now,
okay.
and it's a listing competition. See how many items. I don't care if you use Sellhound. I don't care if you use your kids. I don't care if your wife does it. I've been banned from eBay for 3 days this week, so I might not even be able to put stuff up by the time.
We got to kind of, I get it. Like, your store is a lot larger than my store. You threw out your store number, you had 2,800 items listed in your store.
But they all went on one at a time.
That's true. They did. I've got 119 right now. Let's do it. Let's
do it.
Let's see what we can
We'll
do.
check in a little bit. If you want to compete with us, maybe you don't get a dinner, but let us know. I know, we got several friends out there listening that are listed. And maybe they want to beat our number.
Let's do that.
A Christmas holiday challenge.
Holiday challenge. Let's see what happens. Let's see realistically how much we can really push out there, because I need the kick.
And we need the cash. Let's be honest. I need some money,
We
so
need
this
the
is
cash.
me motivating myself to list against you.
We need some extra
Because
cash.
even when Adam called me and said, "How close are you to being here today?" I was coming back from work, and he said, "Oh, good. You're not off the freeway yet. I'll beat you there." I put a little pep in my step to make sure I was here before him.
He was backing in the same time I pulled into the driveway.
It's just that little competition that you just need somebody to push you sometimes.
Friendly reminder.
So I think that will be good for us.
That
Maybe we just put on a soda pop. Maybe it doesn't have to be a dinner. You want dinner?
It's got to be things.
Okay.
It's got to be things. It's got to be something good.
Well, I know you're getting ready to go, but can I give you the quote before we give the closer?
Well, yeah, you got that, and then I got a Thanksgiving tip.
Oh, and I haven't even been derailed, but I feel like I've been derailed the whole show.
You have.
So we'll hold that in contempt. Have you ever heard of a man by the name of Jay-Z?
Yes, I have.
Well, Mr. Z has this quote, and I thought it would be applicable for our sellers, and it just made me kind of giggle, but it's also kind of what we're about, right? So the quote is this: "Ice in the winter, fire in hell. I'm a hustler, baby. I sell water to a well."
Wow.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, there you go, Mr. Z.
Actually, I saw there's a custom T-shirt sign down the road there that just opened.
There is.
Maybe we'll do that.
Death
Pile and Taxes shirt, and we'll put a quote from Mr. Z on the back.
I like that.
And we'll put Mr. Z. We won't put Jay-Z. We'll Mr. Z.
I wonder if we can have that done by next week.
Well, let's do it in time for our birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe we'll give out a shirt for our birthday.
I love
Because we've
it.
been thinking about things to do. We're coming up on our year anniversary.
We are. And I'm going to throw it out there. No, it's not going to, it's all about numbers. It's not, we've had over 5,000 downloads, man.
I looked, so we get kind of nerdy on this. Last week, our big base is Utah.
Yeah.
I was looking last week, we had more listeners in Michigan and Wisconsin or somewhere like that than we had in Utah.
Yeah.
We didn't have anyone in Oklahoma forever. I gave you so much crap about it. Last week we had 48 downloads from Oklahoma. So if this is you people listening, thank you.
Love it. Love it. We've got some evergreen episodes.
I saw Japan. We're worldwide.
Czech Republic.
There's probably your buddy over there seeing how much you jacked him up on that McDonald's thing you sold in Japan.
That's true. No, I said Czech Republic, not Japan.
No, but we had Japan as well.
That's true, we did.
And our people in Europe and France, we have some listeners. It's weird. Every week we see and we're growing. And thank you. That's what I'm thankful for. We started a podcast, and thank you for listening to us and sharing it with people, because we're growing crazily for us week after week, and it just keeps hopping bigger and bigger.
It's fun. My Thanksgiving tip is talk a little substance. Ask some questions that you really want to know about. I always bring this up. When Grandma dies, Grandma's gone. She's taking everything with her. Ask her some questions, like bring your kids and say, Grandma, what was it like when you were 10?
Tell me about the Depression.
Really?
The Second World War.
Tell me
Korea. I'm not making fun. I agree with
What?
this 100%.
My son had some questions about World War II. My grandma lived in the Bay Area, and she remembers it very distinctly when she was 5 years old. And she said because of Pearl Harbor, they couldn't turn on their lights at night. They literally could not turn lights on night because they were worried about the Japanese coming in and bombing that part of California. And like I said, keep in mind, this is 70 plus years ago, and they wanted the coast to be unrecognizable, so they had to keep all the lights off. Like this was like a city mandated thing so that the Japanese wouldn't know where the land was. Can you imagine that? Like, like what our grandparents have gone through, like the technological changes that they have gone through in the last 70 years.
Well, some of those people that went from almost, horse-drawn carriages to some extent to now iPhones and Teslas. They've seen a lot.
An outhouse.
Yeah.
Running water.
I won't tell you my grandma's exact line, but she had an outhouse growing up.
Yeah.
So she pulled the cart too.
And this is the thing, you're going to blend that generational gap. So have your kids, talk to them, because like I said, they're young, talk about it as yourself. But if you have children that are, 10, 15 younger, you're going to now allow them to get in a world that happened 70 plus years ago. So now when they're 70, they can talk to their grandkids saying, hey, this is what it used to be like. I talked to Grandma, and she went to the restroom in an outhouse.
An outhouse. I talked to a man, this has been a while ago. He was 102 years old, and he told me about listening to Babe Ruth play baseball on the radio.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, live.
Well, live.
Yeah.
So enjoy your time with your family. Like this is, and I never mean to be morbid. I never mean to think we're all going to die.
Well, our tomorrows aren't guaranteed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no checkbox that you're going to wake up in the morning. Some people don't, unfortunately.
You will die. No regrets. Don't live your life with regrets saying, I should have done this, I should have asked that question. And yeah, you know what? If it's going to bring up some hard feelings, you want to know. You want to know, because once they're gone, they're gone.
Well, don't be afraid to. You probably don't want to get a fight at the dinner table, and
I'm not talking about bringing up Uncle Horace's, second wife.
you want to talk about the family that was over in the Korean War. That brother looks a lot like Dad, but but there might be a time where you do. Maybe not Thanksgiving's not the time or place, but yeah, get these because once they're gone, the like Adam said, the answers are gone with them.
And if you do,
stories.
make sure you record it. We'd love to see that footage.
That footage, YouTube it or record it and just pass it on to your kids as an MP3 or whatever.
There you go.
Or put it in a book so Adam's kids can pick it up at the thrift store and read it as he shops.
We'd love to. So, because that there are two things that are certain in life.
Well, that would be death piles
And taxes.